gonna drink it later. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cozy Spellboard, where we're gonna try to make every game a little cozier and a little bit more magical. Today is another episode of Brain Ramblings, and today we're gonna ramble for sure because I had this crazy idea of doing a sort of award ceremony, like a celebration of the most beautiful components in board games, like something along the way of an award ceremony, like with different categories and some nominees, and then I will give my personal winner for all the categories, but feel free in the comments to let me know what your choice would have been. I just want to do a couple disclaimers because I feel like this idea I'm very excited about, but it's a very personal list of the things that I like and things that I know. I'm pretty just diving into the core of the hobby, so I don't know all of the games in the world, of course. So there might be out there some games with beautiful components that I've never heard of or that I never tried. So this is a very, very personal list, and within this list with different nominees, I have very, like, my picks, my winners will be very, very personal. I was talking about this video with my roommate the other day, and she was quite mad about the board games that I choose as winner. So I get it. People are very different and have very different tastes, so please don't come for me. And another thing that I would like to say, I would like to do this video like once a year. I would love maybe in the future to have the possibility to do a poll and make the nominees and the winners not just my choice, but also like the viewer's choice. Maybe if possible in the future, that would be a great idea. The categories that we will be awarding today will be best resource, best board, and I wanted to do like both the player board and the common board, but this video is gonna be long enough, so I cut it out. There was so much other things that I wanted to, so much more categories that I wanted to put in, but this is like a selection, otherwise really would be like a long video. The other category will be best cards, like for the art, best cards art. Yes. The other one, best meeple. And the last category will be the best cover art. Another tiny disclaimer, I'm just counting base game and without the expansions and without the deluxe edition. I'm just doing base game, so if you're not seeing something in here, it might also be for that reason. And another thing that I want to say is I won't be talking about these games in depth. I will be just talking about the category that they are nominated for. But I will link in the description below like overviews from other channels if you want to know something about the games that I will be talking about. Let's start with best resource. My nominees, my personal, very personal, subjective nominees for this category are Coffee Rush, Everdell, Res Arcana, The Lost Ruins of Rhynak, and River Valley Glassworks. Coffee Rush, the components are amazing. The fact that you put them in a coffee cup they look delicious, and there is chocolate in Coffee Rush as a resource, so it's pretty easy for me to fall in love with that component. Besides loving that game, the tactile feeling of putting the components inside the cup and then like pouring it out as you're serving coffee, it's amazing, and it's a very, I would say, cozy game, but I feel like it's not very cozy because it really gives you that rush, but the components make it very relaxing, even if you're stressing about the objective of the game. So that's why I picked Coffee Rush as one of the nominees. Now, about Res Arcana, I have to say, I know that the components themselves are not very beautiful. They're nothing new, nothing extraordinary. I think probably what draws me in and why I chose to put them here is probably because of the name, because you have like Elan, life, death, gold. They feel like very precious resources, and probably that's why when I was thinking about all the games, I decided to put Res Arcana here. And they're beautiful. They're wood. So that's a plus. I don't like when they're cardboard. Like, it's not that I don't like it, but it's always better when they're wood. Now, for River Valley Glassworks, I know that the components are not actually resources, but I'm not doing tiles, and they kind of are resources in a sort of way, because you use them to gain more of those sea glass, river glass. So I wanted to put it in because they are so beautiful and they really feel like sea glass, and they're so satisfying to put down onto your board. They're so colorful. The different shapes are very satisfying to look at and to feel in your hand, and that's why I put River Valley Glassworks as another nominee. Everdell had to be in the nominees because they are beautiful components. Everdell is one of the most beautiful games, and it was very hard. I tried to not repeat nominees for the different categories. I might have done that a couple times, and Everdell was really hard to not put into all of the categories. I know it's not like my favorite best looking game, but has everything. Like, there's not a part of the game that is not beautiful, but I think the best part is the resources, especially the little blueberries are squishy and they're beautiful, and you kind of always want to play with them. And also the wood, it's like the logs are very beautiful, and I like the sound they make when touching the board. So totally had to be in this category, and that's why Everdell is another nominee. The Lost Ruins of Arnak is, of course, part of this category because it's the best thing that Arnak has in its game. I'm not gonna talk about the inserts of Arnak in this video again, but the resources really feel premium, and they are probably the most thematic out of all of them, probably Everdell as well, but I really feel like they're very linked to the theme of the game, because you're using tablets, you're founding arrows, and you're using that arrows to do some research and to fight monsters, and there's like this cool looking ruby, and you really feel like, even though it's a very thinky game and it does not have a lot of adventure, you really feel like you're into the island of Arnak and finding these little pieces along the way. And it really amazed me that this is like a base game resource, and it's really easy at this point. If you want to upgrade like the compass and the coins, you would have a beautiful set of resources, and that's why the Lost Ruins of Arnak, it's another nominee. Now, my personal, subjective winner for this category, you might have guessed it by now, but is totally, and this was the easiest pick, I think, of all of the other categories. The Lost Ruins of Arnak wins the most enchanting resource of the year. I don't know. Now let's move on to the second category, that is most enchanting board. My nominees for this category are Beast, Creature Comforts, Veiled, Merchants of the Dark Road,
and Wonderland's War.
If I look down, it's because I don't have a good memory and I have to read what I decided, even though they were my picks, but I don't have a good memory. Beast is a beautiful game, like across the board, pun intended. But I chose the board because it has like that sort of illustration vibe that it's it really feels thematic, first of all, because it's very, I don't know, it really feels like you're entering like this sort of forest, ancient forest filled with spirits. I don't know, it's very spiritual in a kind of way, and I really like it. And another thing, when I was choosing the boards for this category, I was thinking about also how the actions that you can take or the like the technical things that you can do on the board don't overpower the beauty of the board itself. And I feel like in Beast really feels part of that world, and I really like it, and that's why it's a nominee for the best board. Creature Comforts, it's a cute game that really feels like the perfect full cozy game to play, and it's just a tiny treasure. And what a lot of this comes from the board, and I know it's nothing really spectacular, but for me it gives me a sense of comfort. I have to stop doing that. I'm not doing it on purpose, but well, but it really is just something really serene for me to look at. It's a very cozy, it's like it is a comfort game, and the board feels like home somehow. And yeah, that's why I decided to put it here, and that's why it's the nominee. It's a nominee for this category. Another beautiful game all around is Veiled. But again, the board has that illustration vibe to it, like very mysterious, it's flat, but it feels deep somehow. I do sound a little bit crazy talking about this, but the way the art or the beauty or like the aesthetic of some components, some words, some art speaks to me. It's very, I don't have like a good explanation when I like something. I don't know how to say why I like it. It's just more of a feel to it. So that's how I'm describing these things, and I know, I'm sorry, I sound crazy. But yeah, Veiled with like the different segments in the board feels like you are moving across this magical epic land, and it's very beautiful. Another beautiful, amazing game, it's Merchants of the Dark Road, and I chose the board because again, it really does, like, the actions that you can take on the board don't overpower the beauty of the board. I really like those darker tones, really feel mysterious, magical, and a little bit creepy. It's not creepy, but you know, spooky. Spooky was the right word. It's a beautiful game. Now for Wonderland's War, I am obsessed with Alice in Wonderland world. It's, for me, it always has been something that I was really drawn to. I think at some point, like in school, I did like an essay on, well, I in my high school I did study, like my specialization was psychology, so I used Alice in Wonderland to help me. I don't know how to explain, but I use like the concept of madness in Alice in Wonderland to like debunk some sort of bias against mental illnesses and something like that. So it always have been something really close to me, and I'm what am I talking about? We're talking about the board. I wanted to put Wonderland's War inside one of this category because it's a beautiful game, but I feel like the deluxe components are so much better than the base game. But one thing that doesn't change is the board, and it's a very beautiful, amazing board that really captures the vibe of the of Alice in Wonderland. And you have all of the different spaces, and you have in the middle the like the tea table, and you are moving across. So that's why, besides all of the other things that I said, that's why Wonderland's War is a nominee for this category. Besides everything that I said, my personal winner for this category is Veiled. I know I said all of that for Wonderland's War, but I would truly love to have art like that hang on the wall. It's like the closest thing to my personal taste when in regard of paintings or art in general. So that's Enchanting as Veiled. The next category is the best, the most beautiful, the most enchanting cards art. Yeah. My nominees for this category are the Tea Dragon Society, Parks, Living Forest, Mysterium, Unmatched, and Far Shore. Now, I put Far Shore because I didn't want to put Everdell again, but yes, I do like them a little bit more. But yes, Far Shore has very beautiful art, and the animals are really cute. And I have to say, I am a sucker for everything pirates, and the fact that there is a pirate there wins my heart, and it's also cute. So yeah, I don't have much to say. It's just very beautiful art, very well done, very cute, and it really, as I said, sea and pirates and ships things really sells me, and that's why Far Shore it's a nominee for this category. Now I want to talk about the Tea Dragon Society, because the Tea Dragon Society is actually first a child's illustration book, and the cards are everything. They are perfect. It really feels like you are diving into this beautiful world, full of cute magic, and like the concept of the Tea Dragon Society is just something that left me speechless the first time I heard about it, and keeps making me fall in love with the art and with the illustration and with the different characters. It's just really, I would love to live in that world. If I could like wish something to a genie, that would be probably my wish, to live in that card game. Parks was another game that kept coming, like for the best resources in my mind, for like one of the most beautiful games. I love to travel, and it really feels like when you're playing Parks and you're visiting all those parks, really feels like you're there, also because of the art that you can find on the cards. It's really, I keep saying beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But it is. I can really feel the love that the artist put in this game, because I really want to visit all of those parks. And yeah, that's why Parks is in this category. Living Forest was one of the first games that I purchased when I first really started to get into the hobby, and so it does have also some sentimental value, but it was also the first time that I realized how beautiful a board game could be. the cards, like the idea that you can recruit some guardians, and these guardians were animals, and they were to protect the forest that was burning down because of an EB. It really made me fall in love with that game. Now it's not one of my favorite games. I don't do very good at living forests, first of all, but I also don't enjoy. Since then I started to discover new mechanics that I liked more, but the art in this game stayed very close to my heart. It's also kind of have a sentimental connection with the beautiful art of these cards, and that's why I decided to put it in this category. So Mysterium, like all around, it's something that I really enjoy. The vibe, the ambience, the theme, the mood, the colors. I do prefer some like cold tones in art usually. So I chose it for the cards, and that's why. For the last nominee we have Unmatched, and Unmatched has a deep asymmetry where each character feels very personal and I get attached to the characters, and the art also feels very personal and really feels like you are becoming that character a little bit. In general, again, that sort of illustration, like I don't know, I keep saying illustration because I don't know how to describe that type of like 2D instead of like being round and 3D. And my favorite of all, like recently I got Unmatched Slings and Arrows, and inside of that you can play as Titania, and those cards are enchanted and like you are really living that midsummer's dream. And I've always liked the art in Unmatched, but when I saw that I was really surprised, and I had to put it in this category for that reason. And also the back of the cards, beautiful, beautiful. But also for this category we have to have a winner, and my personal favorite, my winner for the best, most enchanting, most beautiful cards art is Parks. It truly is something that really makes me want to dive into those parks, and also like I want to say like those worlds, because they feel something that we could never have in real life, even though they are inspired by real parks. But I feel like also this is what art does, really makes you live something that you wouldn't experience otherwise in real life, and Parks really does that. Let's move on to category number 5, the most beautiful, Meeples. My nominees for this category are Root, Casting Shadows, Witchstone, and Trial of the Gods. The Meeples of Casting Shadows, even in the base game, I think the production is excellent in Casting Shadows. I know a lot of people might not agree with me, but I do really like those cute little meeples, and I know there are like a ton of different deluxe version of those meeples, but I do really like the base cute wood components of Casting Shadows, and I had to put it in. The reason why I put Trial of the Gods is, first of all, I really like the colors of the meeples, really remind me of the colors of Wingspan, and I really like those player components color for Wingspan. And they are kind of similar in Trial of the Gods. And also I love the theme in that game, and I do appreciate that they didn't do like minis. I don't even know if they had it in like a deluxe version, but I also love the meeples of the different monsters. We have like the sirens and the hydras and the minotaur. Very beautiful, and again, it's just a theme that I really love, and been obsessing over like Greek mythology and Greek history all my life, especially during theater school. I bought like the biggest book ever about Greek mythology, so I had to put Trial of the Gods in. I don't remember if I nominated, but I also put Witchstone, and the reason is because there are cute little witches meeples. And fun thing, when I was like thinking about the channel, I wanted like for the intro, you know, there is like the teacup with the dice, and I wanted to also put like a floating witch meeple on top. I ended up not doing that, mostly because I'm not capable, but I really like witchy stuff, and the idea of like having like witch meeple was amazing, and I love that Witchstone did that. And yeah, that's why Witchstone is another nominee. With Root, I really don't have to explain anything. They are very cute. They're a simple design but really effective, and with those little eyes really makes me melt. And they are like, I like that simple design, that it's not like this is a cat, this is a mouse, this is a raccoon, but it's like stylized, and I really like that, and that's why Root had to be here. Now the winner for the board game that has the best meeple. I really had to come up with better category names. Is Root. Are we surprised? I don't think so. I think out of all of these, Root has the most personal style. When you see that meeple, you immediately recognize that it's from Root, and it's cute. I love the animals that the meeples are, and that's why Root is my winner. And now we are done with the last category, which is the best, the most beautiful cover art. And this was the hardest category. I just keep thinking of games on games on games. They are my personal favorites, and let's dive into it. My picks for this category are Obscurio, Libertalia, Sleeping Gods, Castles of Burgundy, and Lands of Evershade. I know I put Castles of Burgundy even though I said no deluxe, no just base game, but the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition is not a deluxe edition. You can get the deluxe edition of the Special Edition. So it's actually just base game. It costs like a deluxe edition, but it's not actually a deluxe edition. Am I cheating? Probably, but it had to be there. It's beautiful. Again, I have it like here on top of the library, and it's probably the only cover that people, when they come into my house, compliment and ask what game it is, and they want to play it. So I had to put it in here. Sorry for cheating. The other one is Obscurio. Obscurio, it's over here, and I put it here because I had this game in my library like this for forever. I think since I got it, because I was just actually trying to find a way to place it in the library, and I ended up putting it like that just for a second, and it stayed there forever because it really blends well into a library, has a library in the cover, and the colors. I know I said I like colder tones, but I don't know, there's something about this because it's not like fully warm, it's actually mysterious, and like with this light at the end, it feels like really draws you in. I don't know, I just feel like it belongs to the library so well, and that's why I chose Obscurio for this category. As I said before, pirate stuff really is my thing, so that's why Libertalia, it's in this category. besides being a very majestic cover, like in the sense like you really feel like you are moving in this ship because like there's this like all these things going around. I really like it because I never heard anything about Libertalia. I just wanted to play that game because I like the cover. That's pretty much it. And then I also like the gameplay. It's not one of my favorite games, but I do really like it as well. But the cover was my sell point, and it's beautiful. That's why it's in here. Lands of Every Shade, it's actually a new game that I think it fulfilled recently on Kickstarter. I was following the project. I didn't back it. Again because it's a type of game that I know would never hit my table with the friends that I played games with. So, but it's a very. I was really thinking about it, and I was saying to myself, I have to find someone to play this game with. But I ended up saving my money. But the cover, like it could be the cover of a TV show, and I would watch that TV show for sure. So it's very beautiful. I love fantasy, and that really feels like a fantasy paradise. It's here because it's beautiful. And the last nominee for this category is Sleeping Gods. This is another game that I've never played, mainly because it's a lot of commitment for me to start a campaign, especially solo, because I know that I would have to play this solo because my roommate doesn't like this type of game, especially if they're co-op. For me, it feels like a little bit overwhelming to start this type of campaign by myself. I will do it eventually. I will. Maybe now for the channel will be less intimidating. I would love to, but I've been really debating if I wanted to play that also because of the beautiful cover. The art in that cover really touched a part of my heart because like what I like about it is at first sight you would just see like this beautiful sea landscape, but then if you look closer you see like this monster underneath the water. And that's another thing that is really fascinating for me about water, like the depths of sea and the unknown of what you can find is really beautiful. So that's why I had to put this game here, even though I haven't played it yet. But Sleeping Gods is another nominee. Now, the winner of this category, and I'm posing because I know nobody will agree with me, even though I did a game with ChatGPT. I usually hate using that, but I was like, I really have to see. And I gave her all my list for the different categories, and I had her, and I'm saying her because for me she's a woman, but I had her pick like what she thinks I would have picked for the different categories, and she agreed with me on a lot. So that made me feel a little bit better. I'm still scared that people are gonna hate me because they don't agree with me. And she chose the same one for me for this category, and I was really surprised because I thought nobody will agree with me. But my winner, sorry, that was long. My winner is Obscurio. And I think the reason is mostly sentimental. Again, it was the first game that I had phased out on my library, and it makes me feel like my library becomes like a magic library when I have I have a game like this exposed. It's always been one of my favorite board games covers, and I really like it, and that's why I chose it. And it's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So yeah, that's my winner. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do some honorable mentions for the best cover art. I'm gonna say a couple and they're gonna all be here around me. Let's start with my honorable mentions. I'm not gonna talk about them, I'm just gonna say them and you're gonna just see the beautiful art and you're gonna probably shout at me because I didn't put them as nominees. So, we have Mysterium, Mythwind, Trolls and Princesses, Skyrise, Unconscious Mind, Keenfire, Merchants of the Dark Road, Forgotten Waters, Rouse, I cannot pronounce that, Unfathomable, no, that one, Star Wars Rebellion, Wild Gardens, Flamecraft, Wondrous Creature, and we're done. That was it. And that's everything. I hope you liked it. I really had a lot of fun putting this video together, like thinking about beautiful components. It's like I've been working on this video for like 3-4 days because I'm also doing like the B-rolls and I'm trying to find pictures to show you because it's such a visual theme that I wanted to really give to you the experience that I'm talking about. But the reason why this idea came to me is because, as you might have guessed by now, a big part of why I love board games is the beautiful art. And the thing that I like is diving into a world and being in that world for an hour or so of gameplay and exploring all the different parts of a board or discovering new cards each time you play a game. It really plays an important part for me. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to share this the passion for aesthetics that I have. And yeah, I hope you liked my picks. Again, they're very subjective. Let me know what you would have picked and what your winners will be for the different categories. And also, again, I would love to make this an annual thing, but not just with my opinions, but with like the community. Right now it's very hard for me because I just started, but I would love to do that in the future and do like this award like celebration ceremony for the beauty of board games. Thank you so much for watching. I know it was a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to always stay cozy and magical. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. The battery is running out. Oh no. Also, every hour of the day in the street where I live, there's just chaos. Rewind. When I do this, it's rewind.